Yeah, I don't know. Our last meeting, I don't know what happened. I know Josh was on with us and it was recording, but the town could not not find a recording of it anywhere. So I had to kind of wing it on the minutes, which was I had to be a little creative. All right, so this is the Open Space Committee meeting, Town of Bridgewater. This is August 17th, I believe. We have a quorum. We have Michael, Maureen, and me on. And we're expecting Nicole, but why don't we go ahead and get started? Oh, here she is. She is joining us. Yay. Hi, Nicole.
Hi, Eileen. Hi, everyone.
Hi, Nicole. Thanks for joining. I'm sure you're having a busy day as usual.
Yeah.
I got the message that you sent your son, right?
Yeah, I know. I'm trying to coordinate. You're like, you're probably like, why is Ty picking me up and taking you to the juice mill?
Too many things going on. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So we have a quorum. Let's go ahead. I sent out the July 18th, 2024 meeting minutes. If there's no questions or comments about those, can I have a motion to approve them?
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Thank you. Nicole, you can vote even though you weren't there.
Okay. I'm approving as well.
All right, and me too. Okay, so that's done. All right, is there any members of the public here who want to comment on anything that is not on the agenda? Pat is the only member of the public I see here. Pat, are you talking about the same old stuff or you want something new?
Same old stuff.
Yeah, okay, right. Yeah, it's not like it's all been resolved, is it? All right, so let me just mention a couple of things on the open space plan update. At our last meeting, we approved sending a letter of support to Shane, the town planner, who was submitting a request for a $40,000 grant to the state Executive Office of Environmental Affairs to conduct our revised open space plan. The last one was done in 2018, and this one has to be done by 2025. I think it has to be filed by March or April. I think it's April. So that last one was a 7-year action plan, and now I presume we do the same sort of thing. I think I mentioned last time what Shane suggested that they would probably do was be creating some sort of a task force. So it wouldn't be up to this committee, it wouldn't be up to the Open Space Committee to conduct the planning for that document, that there would be a separate task force created, presumably with some input from us, I would hope. And various other committees would probably be represented as well. The only other thing, I wanted to mention, Maureen's our representative to the Community Preservation Act Committee. And so she and I have talked with Gina Guasconi, who's the chair of that committee, because they are undergoing I believe they have a 5-year plan, and they're undergoing their update right now. I think they already have a couple of public meetings set for maybe even this month in September. I haven't seen them. Have you seen them, Pat? You're shaking your head.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. And of course, the Community Preservation Act plan has an element for open space, because that's one of the categories that they can fund projects in that, along with historic preservation and housing. So, I mean, my question to Gina is, I'm kind of wondering how these seem really quite redundant to me. I mean, the goals and a lot of the discussion in the open space plan was incorporated into the last Community Preservation Act plan. I just was reviewing that today, and so much of what they say, they took the goals directly from the open space plan, and it kind of said, well, these are the kinds of projects we would be funding. And of course, now we're well behind them. I mean, our date is I think it's 2 years past their requirement. they do it every 5 years. It looks like we do it every 7. So I'm a little curious about how it's going to work, what they're going to be relying on as they go forward. And even looking at what they did last time, it really is quite redundant, but be that as it may, they both have to be done in order to get funds through the state. So it will go forward.
Eileen,
Yeah.
I believe, if I got it correctly, I believe there are 2 focus groups. No, I think there's more than that, actually. There's a focus group virtually on September 12th.
Oh,
And then one on September 23rd. They bounced a lot of dates around, so I'm not sure I have exactly the correct dates.
Those
Uh,
are
There's
right.
one October 30th.
Oh,
Where else? I thought there was one more. I think that might be it.
and Maureen, are those public focus groups or are they
Yes.
just- okay,
I
okay,
believe I believe all these are public.
okay. All right, well, that's good to know. Thanks. We probably ought to make a point of attending one or more of those, at least, I don't know.
Yes.
I'd be curious to see. Maureen, if you happen to know, or if you don't know now, if you could find out whether those focus groups will have a specific topic, with
Oh, okay. I haven't heard that. Yeah, okay. That's a good
one on
question.
agricultural, one.
Yeah.
Then we can figure out where we want to zero in. So, okay, that'd be good. Thanks.
I can give you a little info now.
Oh, sure. Yeah, please do.
I received a note from Jennifer Goldson's office
Uh-huh.
that they are going to have those focus groups.
Yeah.
The first one is regarding historic. And then
That's on the 12th?
that's right. And then the one you mentioned, the 23rd is I believe it's the open space one.
Oh, okay.
Uh, If there are some in between, or after, I don't know.
No, I think those are 2 Zoom, and then the one on the 30th, and again, if I got this correctly, is that that might be a in-person meeting. But as far as I know, it was all for public, but I didn't have that detail you have.
Actually, thanks for reminding me of that, Pat, because I got that notice too. I wasn't thinking them as focus groups. I don't remember what they called them, some kind of plan. And so I signed, yeah, it's the 23rd and the one, they're both Zoom. And I think the open space passive recreation, they're having 2 different meetings. One was the open space was at 6 to 7:15. And then the recreational was 7:45 to 9.
On which one?
Yeah.
The 23rd?
The 23rd, yeah.
And what was the time again for the passive?
6 to 7:15, and these are Zoom calls.
Okay, good. I didn't get any info like that.
Yeah. And I don't know, what I don't know is whether they're open to anybody. In other words, if I send it out to the committee, can anyone in the committee sign up, or are they limiting it to the people they've sent it to? I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think I'll try to find out, because I think it'd be great to have as many people from open space on as possible, but these may be.
Well, Gina should know that, right?
Yeah, she should. Yeah.
Yeah.
When's your next meeting? Do they have a meeting in August, CPCs?
Yes, the 28th.
Okay. Maybe you can find out then for us,
Yeah.
Maureen.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I don't know whether I'm reading through the open space plan. It's kind of weird. I mean, it's really hard to see what's happened in 7 years. So many of the things haven't happened, but then some other things have happened that weren't in the plan. So it's kind of a mixed bag. But this whole planning effort is worthwhile, but it's limited in its impact, I think, and how much it actually directs our activities. But be that as it may. So. All right, any questions about the open space plan?
Nope.
All right, so parks publicity. Michael, do you want to put the link up for the video?
Sure. Yeah, I can drop it there, or I can also, if you give me share access, I can play it, and it should play the audio.
Okay,
It's up to you.
yep. All right, you got your co-host. So Nicole, you've missed a couple meetings, so may not know about this, but we have been working with BTV. Michael and I met with Jeff Fowler. Actually, I talked to him when when I was at the Arbor Day celebration and asked him if he could help us out, and he's gung ho to be doing this. And so we went out for an initial shoot, and then since then Michael has met with Jeff, and they've edited it, and Michael wrote a script. So this is like the draft of the first one, and I think you're going to play it for us now, Mike, right?
Yep. Yeah. And so this is it was originally a 3-minute video, which was very nice. They put all the footage together. I spent a little bit of time with their editor and cut it down to a minute, minute 7. So it's a little bit quicker. So it'll be easier to digest for people because people don't want to, I personally think it could be even shorter. But we're planning on we also use some AI technology to do the voiceover. So the voiceover is the script, so it's pretty straightforward. And I will have the opportunity, they're going to send over files. Once, if we like it, they're going to send over files my way so that if we want to make it even shorter and do like even quicker cuts and stuff like that, we can. So
So that narrator in there is not a real person?
it's not a real person. It is AI. It's technology. Somebody who basically sold their voice to the technology company and they put it together with that. So
Very weird. All right.
crazy, right?
Welcome to the 21st century.
Yep. So here we go. I'll play it for you. If you can't hear it, please let me know. I will pause and start it again and fix the audio. So here we go.
Carver's Pond, located off Summer Street. Walking distance from Bridgewater State University. Carver's Pond is a serene oasis, perfect for nature enthusiasts. This tranquil spot offers picturesque views and diverse wildlife, making it ideal for bird watching, fishing, or simply enjoying a peaceful stroll. Carver's Pond well-maintained trails are easy to traverse for even the most inexperienced hiker. There are many spots along trails to sit, rest, and take in the beauty of this historic landmark. The pond, surrounded by lush greenery, provides a refreshing escape between meetings or a nice walk after work or on the weekends. Carver's Pond is a favorite spot for locals, from hikes to family picnics and outdoor activities. Whether you're a resident or just visiting, Carver's Pond is a hidden gem of the South Coast that showcases the natural beauty of Bridgewater.
All right.
That was great.
Yeah, and the quality is just kind of draft only. They didn't send the full quality one. This is just like a low resolution, like, this is essentially like the lowest resolution they can send so that it is small enough. So the clarity of the video will be much, much better. It's just how they exported it.
Yeah. Okay, great. That was one of my questions, yeah, why it was so blurry. I thought maybe that was why. Yeah, it was just,
Yeah.
One other thing, Mike, that I mean, if you want to cut it, I think that would be fine. I think it could be cut further. I would include a shot of the parking lot if you can at this point.
Yeah,
just
totally.
so people know, and maybe even the location, because we say BSU, Summer Street off of BSU, but it might be good to have a street address for it. And then the only other thing I would add is dog walking. Everybody at Carver Pond has a dog. It's rare that you see someone there without a dog. I don't know. I'm not, and that's not necessary if it's if it's any complication at all. But that was just one thing that came to mind for me. Like, yeah, hey, this is a great place to take your dog. So
yeah, no, those are good. Those are good notes. Definitely something that he and I did talk about was adding basically an overhead shot of the Google Maps and showing like where the location is, and that's how it will open. And then hopefully this is a little bit further down the line, but once we put all of them together, we can actually make a map that has all of the points,
Mm,
all the locations on it, and then we can link the videos to that so people can click on the point and watch a video about it.
yeah, okay, great. All right, other comments, Maureen or Nicole, anything you want to add?
No, I think he clarified it. It won't be that herky-jerky film when it's all done and edited. Is that correct, Michael?
Correct. Yeah, no, it's just the quality of
Yeah.
the quality of the export, because you can
Sure.
do like if you do them like actual like really good quality, the files are huge.
Yeah.
But
Oh,
this
yes.
was just a quick temporary one that's basically like a draft.
Terrific. Thank you.
Yeah.
All right, Pat, did you have any comments? You're a member of the public, so,
My only thought was if you do mention it's great for dog walking on the leash.
oh, good point, good point.
Oh, that's a very good point.
Yeah, because yeah, off leash. There, I don't know if there are rules on the sign for no leash or on leash, but definitely saying on leash and encouraging on leash is a really
Yeah.
good.
Okay. All right, and then Nicole, you know, the plan is that we're gonna do videos for all of the conservation, the 6 part, well, not probably, yeah, we will. I mean, I don't know if the town might be doing something for Styles and Hart with the money they have, you know, whether they're doing some kind of publicity.
Oh, yeah,
but
that would be cool. Yeah, I
Yeah.
think definitely the parking, like at some point, maybe towards the end, like definitely saying parking can be accessed on, Summer Street. There's approximately, 6 spaces or whatever. There's also, I don't remember if it said this, but technically there are some locations where you can launch a canoe in. A lot of people do that. So there's sort of a path. I guess I would call it like simple canoe or kayak access.
Yeah,
Yeah, or easy in, easy out access.
Yeah. Mhm.
yeah, it is, it's easy, yeah. Yeah, I've done that, but I went in August and got so hung up on the water lilies, I couldn't get my oar out of the water, my paddles.
Easy and out access for canoes. Okay. All right. Yeah, no, that's all very doable. The other thing, Eileen, where are we going to be going next? Was that going to be the
Yeah, I think we had said Tuckerwood.
Tuckerwood? Okay. Because he recommended we get another one on the schedule
Right.
sooner than later.
Yep.
Um,
Yeah, I would say Tuckerwood and Titicut. Styles and Hart, I think will be last because there's probably no point in doing it until it's finished.
Yep. So what I
Okay.
can do is, I think we had already talked about it, which was having, we're basically going to use the same script over and over, but just customize it to the location.
Yep.
So what I think it might be a good idea is to give him the 2 locations and suggest that they go and shoot and maybe shoot Tuckerwood themselves, and then we can review the footage and make sure everything is there that we want to be there, and then we can start editing and stuff like that.
I think somebody, have you been to Tuckerwood, Mike?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, it's sort of hard to actually figure out where it is. I mean, I'm not sure when I've hiked there myself. I mean, you can follow the trails, but there's that big gully when you first get in, and
Yeah.
anyway, it's a little bit confusing. But just so long as you've been there, if you go out with Jeff, so he knows where to go.
Michael, if you don't know that, I know the park quite well, so
Oh, yeah, okay, yeah.
bring you through there.
Maureen was the steward there.
Yeah.
Oh, perfect. Yeah, no, that's good to know. Yeah, because I know that we had talked about that, once we got this video down, they would know exactly what shots to get and what to look for so that they could go ahead and start getting the other video, kind of like when they have some downtime when they're not editing something, they can go or if the interns need something to do, they can go out and have projects to work on, and that's one of them is to go out with the video and shoot and all that stuff. So
Right. Okay. All right. as far as Wyman goes, Wyman Meadow, I think we ought to think about that one, whether we just want to do, or, something the same format, or I think it would be nice to focus on the fact that this is a brand new addition to our accessible parks that we.
Yeah, I know we mentioned waiting to do that one until it was sworn in, and what we said, September or October. I forgot when that
October
was.
5th is the date, yeah. Yeah,
October
Nicole, I
5th.
don't know if you've seen that, but October 5th is when we're gonna have a grand opening. Nothing grand about it, though, actually. We talked about it being kind of low key. Owen Gray from Wildlands Trust is worried about having too many people.
Yeah.
If that would ever be a possibility, just because the trail is not that big and there's not that much parking, so,
You had to worry about people going back and forth
yeah,
on the
Yeah,
boards.
traffic and stuff too. So anyway, but we'll talk about that one. We'll talk about that separately, so.
And hopefully the ticks have subsided a little bit. I know that was an
Oh,
issue.
gosh, yeah, jeez. All right, any questions about that? Okay, all right, that's great. It'll be wonderful. Actually, reading the open space plan from 2017, I feel like, yes, well, we will at some point be able to say we actually got some public information out there to publicize the location of these and their uses, et cetera, so.
Yeah, and after we do these edits, we can put this video out. We can plan to put this video out in September. We just need to get it to Josh.
Yeah,
too,
okay. Right,
and have
right.
him post online, because that was one of the things. And then once we have it posted, we can, BTV said that they will post it out as well on their pages, and also we can share it ourselves individually on like Bridgewater residents or whatever we want to do. They just want to share it directly from the page that they manage, essentially.
So are we talking about posting them individually as they're available? Like, will Carver Pond get up there as soon as it's done, and then we move on to the others, or are you?
Yeah, I think that we can do that. Yeah, I think that would be a good use of our time. And I think it'll be good because we'll get some feedback from the public when they say like, oh, this is great, or like, I really wish I had more information about this.
Yeah.
We can then adjust for the next ones while we're doing the shooting and the editing and what. So.
Great. Yeah, okay, good. All right, thanks, Mike, good work.
Yep, awesome.
All right, so let's move on to Wyman Meadow. The first question that sort of popped in my mind just today is, I don't know where the meadow came from. It wasn't, when we acquired, at some point it was just Wyman Conservation Lands. And then when the NRTB got involved and did that plan with the volunteer landscape architect in 2000, I think the year 2000, they started referring to it as Wyman Meadow. There's really not much of a meadow left there. Most of the meadow has been overgrown by autumn olive and other invasive species. But the reason this came up is because, as I had on the agenda, I need to go back to, I'm jumping ahead, but it's what to name the site. I sent out a few suggestions because we haven't really talked about how to combine our name with the North Fork Preserve, which is the Wildlands Trust property. And I just, I sent out a few suggestions to John and to John Hart and Owen, should we go Wyman / Wildlands Trust, preserve, open space, conservation land. And I just talked with Owen this morning, and the first question was, which should come first? And I was fine either way, but I wasn't sure, like, if Parks and Rec or somebody else might weigh in that the town name should be first. But at any rate, Owen said they're fine if we want to put Wyman first, Wyman. And then my question, as I looked into it today, was, do we really want to call it Meadow, or do we just call it Wyman / North Fork Conservation Land?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I don't think the meadow really adds anything. And I mean, I think what's important is that we honor the name, the people who donated it, which was Wyman. Or no, they didn't donate it. We bought it from them. But it was the original Wyman farm. So what do you all think about that?
I like that. I like it a lot. And I think
Yeah.
Wyman should go first. if we can, but I thought that's a good name. I like it.
Okay.
Yeah, I like it too.
All right. Nicole, you like it?
Yep, all good.
All right, sounds good. All right, so I'm going back to the parks, well, no, no, under Wyman Meadow, I'm sorry. The opening event of October 5th. So
Can, can I interrupt you for a second, please? Could you
Yes.
say that full name again? It's gonna be Wyman
Wyman / North Fork
North Fork.
Conservation Land.
Okay,
And maybe, and the slash I just put in there, maybe we don't need the slash, maybe it's just Wyman North Fork. Conservation
Yeah.
Land.
and let me ask, who gets to rename it? Do we
I'm
just,
sorry, conservation area, conservation
Cons-
area, conservation area.
when you rename it, does this have to go in front of somebody? Or,
I don't think so. I mean, nobody's called it anything anyway. I mean, there's never been a sign there. You know, it's just, it's the no name land that's what it's been for 20 years.
it does have a kiosk though, right?
But I don't think there's anything there, is there?
I don't remember.
In Wyman,
Yeah.
there
Yeah.
is. There's a kiosk, but it's a little bit. They said they're gonna need to update it a little
Right.
bit because there were
It's
some
fine.
some
But
boards were worn out and stuff like that. But yeah, there is one.
I don't think it has a name up there though, does it, Mike?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, right. It's the kiosk that's been there for 20 more years. So I don't know who we would have to get approval from. I'm sort of inclined to just, I mean, I think what's most important is that Wildlands Trust agrees. And so if we're acknowledging the town land as Wyman and conservation site and them, I think that ought to be fine. And I don't know that anybody's going to pay attention to it other than us.
There might be a few people, but that aside, should there be a sign at the end of the start of the driveway by the street, naming what that is?
Yeah, I mean, there definitely needs, or maybe even if it just says, hiking trail or something at the end of the street.
Yeah, but who do you go to for that? The town?
Well, yeah, I assume you have to get permission to put something on the road, yeah. I mean, Wildlands Trust is happy to design it, and create it, but I
Okay.
assume we'll have to probably get, I don't know, maybe Parks and Rec. I mean, they must put signs on roads all the time for different facilities. But yeah, that's a good question, because it would be nice to get that up by October 5th, but
Yeah.
even if we could do a temporary one for the event, of course, and then if it takes us a little while, which it undoubtedly will, to get the highway department to do it. Although I think I want to say the parking is done. I don't know if I've told you all that before.
Oh,
I
no.
can't remember just when I had it done, but yeah, Paul DeCosta. I think I know. Yeah, our last meeting, I had met Paul. I had gone over to the highway department, and he happened to be in the office. And I invited him to come join me right then to go out there and see what needed to be done. And I told him we wanted the opening on October 5th, and he said he would. Well, they would definitely be able to get it done by then. But it was done like 2 weeks ago, and it looks really nice. It's crushed some sort of reconstituted asphalt. And it's enough for 3 spaces. And Owen's seen it, and he was really pleased with it. So that was really, really great for Paul to get out there. So, so that part's done. What else needs to be done is we have to post rules, and of course the town has its set of rules. We just saw them in the Carver video, and Wildlands also has rules. Theirs are much more succinct than ours. They pretty much cover the same topics as you'd expect, dog walking, no trash, that sort of thing. But I like theirs better just because they were easier to read and more direct. But I think Owen and I just need to agree, and we'll get something in writing and then probably present it to this group. And then I maybe to Parks and Rec, just because they have to approve the rules and regulations for all the parklands, I presume. But I haven't been able to talk with John Hart. I was kind of hoping he might be able to weigh in on some of this stuff, but I haven't talked to
Can
him.
I ask one more thing? How about
Yeah, please do.
hunting? I know we went down there for a little get together, and there are hunters out there.
Yeah.
And how's that going to be? Is it going to be restricted or allowed? Or
I I don't know what to do about that, honestly, because we can't seem to find an answer from anybody.
Well, can't the town council rule or somebody or
I mean, I
conservation?
told you that when I met with Michael Dutton in May, he said, well, the same issue is going to come up with Stiles and Hart because there has been hunting there before too.
Mhm.
So, you know, whether it's going to be allowed, it seems like it would be good if we could bring both of those issues to the town council at the same time.
Yeah,
So yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, I think my plan is we go ahead and open it on October 5th and we don't address it. I mean, it's been there for 20 years and it's, you know, anybody could walk up that road, walk in there, if, not that there was a trail, but with no restrictions or no notice about whether hunting was allowed or not. We know it was going on, but what the rules were, nobody seems to know. So I need to continue to pursue this with anybody I can, but I'm just, when Michael said, you know, he didn't have any idea, I wasn't really sure where to go from there. So, and I don't know, I should check on I'm not sure about the timeline for Stiles and Hart, but I think it's moving along fast. So I would think that they ought to be having an opening fairly soon. I think they wanted it open by the fall. So if they have to address it sooner rather than later, that would help us work through on Wyman as well. So, but anyway, that's about all I can say about that for now. But yeah, I know there was some concern on one of the meetings. People said, well, we have to have a sign up there that there might be hunting. And that would probably be easy enough to put up if we wanted to, just at the beginning, you know, at the beginning of before we can actually get an official policy from the town, we could put up something about there may be hunters, you know, be careful or whatever. But I don't know when the season starts either. I think it's November, isn't it? Usually. Yeah.
don't know.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
You know, Eileen, the property at the end of Lakeside Drive,
Yeah.
DC, a sign, and it says they do allow hunting, but
VCR,
they should also clarify that that's not allowed within, what is it, 500 feet of a resident?
right. Well, that's the thing. Yeah. I mean, it may be prohibited as it is just because of its location, you know. I mean, what's in the vicinity and what are the boundaries that the state imposes for how far you have to be from a home and that sort of thing, or a road or whatever. And I mean, I suppose I could try calling the DCR about that and see what they can tell me, like what the general rules are. Yeah, let me make a note to myself. All right. All right, and then the last thing that I need to, I've been drafting, but not putting a lot of effort into, is an agreement between Wildlands Trust and the town. Just so we lay out like who's responsible for what, because Wildlands Trust has committed to keeping that property open, you know, keeping the trails open to mowing. And they're going to clean it up all the time. They're going to clear the brush. So I suppose the town at least ought to commit to keeping the road open, which of course they're going to do because it's the water department road. But who knows, you know, at some point in the future, we just want to make sure that that we've sort of covered our bases if any questions come up about who's doing what. So I hope have a draft of that before our next meeting, and you can all take a look at it and see what you think, and I'll pass it on to someone else. I mean, I don't know if I suppose the town, it'll eventually have to go to the town attorney. So if that's going to happen, how things get moving now with during Michael's absence, or after Michael resigns and during a temporary town manager, I think things will slow down more than ever. So, but maybe not. All right. Any other questions on Wyman Meadow? Oh, well, all right. So no, I forgot to tell you something. So about the October 5th date, we had talked about making an announcement at the town council. And I sent an email to Michael this week acknowledging that it's probably not the highest thing on his list of priorities to accomplish before he leaves, but that if he could announce at one of the council meetings, you know, that this is happening, that we've got a new park, basically, we've got a new trail, we have this collaborative effort, and we're gonna have an opening on October 5th, and they're all invited or whatever, you know, I want him to do that, and if he can't, I'd like to get on, to be able to make it as a citizen comment before the town council meeting to tell them about it. And so I'm waiting to hear back from him about whether, you know, and I may not, in which case I'll just make a point of finding out when a council meeting is before that 5th date, and just, actually it'd be nice if other members of the committee could be there that time too, but let me find out when I could do that. Just give them a little history about the property and how we got to this point, and you know, that it's a nice new amenity for the town. The other thing that I just talked with Owen today is what we've decided we'll try to do is let people, we'll announce the opening, and in whatever announcement we have, people can sign up to take a hike. So that way we can kind of control how many people are coming out there, you know, so we don't have 30 people show up, which we don't really want. But if 30 people want to take a hike, we could stagger the hike times. So we could have a hike at 10, we could have a hike at 11, you know, we could have a hike at 10 or whatever. So that would, and Wildlands Trust will take care of that. I mean, they'll monitor, they'll set up the link and the sign up online process. So
Where are they going to publish this, so people can sign up?
well, I mean, it will be on their website, and of course, I mean, we'll want it on the town's website too. I mean, I would think that, you know, maybe in open space. I mean, town Facebook. I would think we could put it anywhere, and I assume a link like that will work any place we put it if people want
Yeah,
to
if you-
sign it.
If you put it on the Facebook, you know, the 02324 Facebook, it'd probably hit a lot of people also.
Right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Does anyone else, Michael? Do you have any ideas about where else we might put it? I mean, you've been.
I mean, posting it once we get it, if we can get it officially posted on Bridgewater 02324, we can then share it to Bridgewater residents, and I think there is I don't know if it's eligible for like roundtable discussions. I know Bridgewater Roundtable, they also post stuff. I think Bill would post stuff there. I haven't seen much there in a while. But I do know that is another location where there are a lot of people. There's a lot of groups that we can explore within town that there is going to be some overlap. People are going to be part of the same ones, but just like anything else, if people's eyes are on it, there's more of a chance that they'll get engaged and involved and want to do something.
I mean, you know, the other thing to consider is, given that we probably don't want 100 people coming out there that day, we may decide to post the opening on a certain number of sites, and then after it's open, then, you know, post on additional places. So
yes,
that, you know, and on some regular basis, you know, like every, you know, month or every 2 months or something, just so, you know, hey, have you been out to the new spot in town? And,
Awesome.
right.
What if it rains? Do you have a rain date?
oh, no.
Might be something to think about.
Yeah, right.
Because that's not warm rain, that's cold rain.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Oh, I don't know. Who knows? It'll probably be 90 degrees in October.
I mean, let's be honest, you're right.
Yeah. All right. All right. So anyway, please, all of you, put that on your calendar, and I hope you can plan to be there. So I assume it'll probably be 10
Absolutely.
o'clock. Does that sound like a reasonable time?
10 o'clock, you said?
10 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Nicole, tree committee report, please.
Yes, I do not have a huge report. I have unfortunately missed not only open space committee meetings, but the past few tree committee meetings, just given my work obligations and everything else. Maybe Pat might chime in, but I know our committee is working really hard at this point on kind of finalizing an update to the town of Bridgewater's street tree ordinance, I guess is what it's called. And that's the bulk of what we've been trying to work out, in addition to some logistics for planting some new trees with some of our funds and you know, kind of some project work, I guess you would call it.
Pat, you want to add anything?
The draft of the tree ordinance has been submitted to Michael. Hopefully he'll be able to
Oh,
respond to it before he leaves, because he's leaving September 4th,
yeah,
right
Yeah.
around the corner.
yeah.
And one of the changes or amendments to our town code, or is it charter? I get those mixed up, is to allow a non-resident be our arborist if need be, you know, if we
Yeah.
couldn't come up with an arborist in town. So that's undergoing, you know, review. It's that was submitted at town council with many amendments to our code or charter.
Mm.
And it'll come back, it'll go to rules and procedures and then come back to the town council for a vote. So that's pretty much all I can tell you.
Yeah, yeah, that's right. I think it's a code. So our town code already had a
code,
tree
oh,
ordinance. So
yeah.
that's already in place, and that basically like protects public trees from, you know, being cut down or whatnot. But one of the other requirements is that there needs to be like an authority, like in charge of the trees, you know, to basically look at the health or decide whether something needs to come down. And that is what's referred to as the tree warden or the arborist. And that is currently a position we no longer have in Bridgewater, but desperately need. So that is exactly what Pat is saying. You know, we need to make it a little bit more, what we need to like create more opportunities for that to happen and for the right person to be in that spot. Yeah, as a full-time staff person.
Pat, were you saying, implying that in order to be the Bridgewater tree arborist, you have to live in Bridgewater? Was that what you were saying?
Well, members of the committee have to be Bridgewater residents.
Members of the committee. Oh, I see. Okay. All right. I get you. Okay.
But the tree warden is a required person on the
Right.
committee. Right now,
Right.
we don't have one.
Yeah.
But if we had one, that's the oddity. They wouldn't be able to be on our committee if they happened to hire someone that lived in another town. Yeah, we did a search too. Like you can search professional licenses, and there was like no, maybe one or two, but that didn't really exist. There's like no arborists in Bridgewater. So
No. You know, and I think if there are arborists, they're probably all getting paid more working for contractors at this point, because the tree business is booming, from what I understand, with all the beech trees that are diseased and all the ash trees that are dead, that they can't keep up with cutting down stuff fast enough. And actually, this is an aside, but just speaking of trees, I learned from my neighbor, and I wonder if anybody else has heard this, so that insurance companies are sending drones out, and they take pictures of your roof, and they decide whether they might have to pay out something if something falls, and they send you a notice that you have to get a signed contract to them. And my neighbor it was she had 2 weeks to get a signed contract to them that she was going to have these tree branches removed. Otherwise, they
Wow.
were going to cancel her insurance. And her daughter got a similar one. And so I don't know how widespread that is. It doesn't sound like any of you have heard that, but I was just shocked at that, because I've been waiting to get the notice myself. It hasn't shown up yet. Maybe I don't have the same problem that she does. Yeah, it's like there's going to be a whole lot more trees coming down if that's the insurance company's approach. So anyway.
Wow.
All right. Thank thanks, Nicole and Pat.
And just also FYI, will have to leave a couple minutes before 3 because I need to run another meeting at that time.
Okay.
So I got to get.
Okay, well, we should be done momentarily, I think. So, so Lake Nip, once again continued. What is this, 6 continuances, Pat? Although this one was not the developer. This was actually a lack of quorum on the Concom. So it is once again continued to 8/22.
Right.
And so anyway, and Nicole, I don't know, but we did submit a letter. The Open Space Committee submitted a letter about 2 months ago. I don't know, is it now, Pat? And pretty extensive, actually, talking about this whole process, but also incorporating again your suggestions about low impact development and so on, and stuff like that. So, did I send that out to the committee? Michael, Maureen, did I?
I feel as though I saw it,
Yeah,
but maybe
yeah,
that was
yeah,
through.
Right, I think I did. I think it was.
You
in
did,
there.
you sent it and you had us, I think, look at it or proof it or something like that, see if we approved of it, and I think we said, yeah, it looks good.
All right, okay, all right, good. Okay, I won't send it again.
Excellent letter.
Oh, I'm sorry, Pat, I didn't hear you.
I said it was an excellent letter.
Oh, okay, yeah, okay, yeah, I got lots of claps from you and others. Hanson Farm update. So again, this is, another one with Michael leaving. Though apparently there's something on the 28th. I forget what is coming up then, but I think they expect to have something signed. I don't know, how final it is, but the lawyers have been meeting and talking, and that things are proceeding. And it sounds like Michael kind of has that as a priority to accomplish as much as possible before he moves on. So we'll see. I know there was, when I go to Hanson's, there's some concern about what the town's willing to pay and what they feel like they need, but hopefully that will all shake out and work out. So anyway, that's moving ahead, and hopefully won't get short shrift once Michael's gone. So anyway, now, yeah, I'm disappointed Michael's leaving. I think he's been a good advocate for open space, and he's certainly given me time and willingness to talk about things, and so, but hopefully somebody else will too. So, all right. So the last item is annual reorganization of the Open Space Committee, which I haven't done for years. I think it's supposed to happen every July. Of course, we need a new member. I think Lauren was the one who actually posted something. Michael, would you be willing to post something on the Bridgewater Facebook page? I think that's where she, or yeah, just, you can come up with a little blurb about, hey, want to protect open space or whatever. And,
What I'll do is I'll find what Lauren posted and then I'll post that.
Can you do that? Actually, that was years
Yeah,
ago.
I can. Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay. Well, I wanted to contact her and ask her if she could send us, and I didn't want to bug her. It never occurred to me to try to.
She and I
find
are
her.
friends on social media, so
Oh,
worst case
okay.
scenario, I can always reach out to her and
Okay, good.
ask her
That's
what's
perfect.
going on.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Great. You can find out where she posted it too. So great. All
Yeah.
right. Thank you. And then the other thing is, Michael, you got my voicemail. So
Yes.
I've been president since 2019, I guess, and if anybody else is willing to step up, I'd be more than happy to retire from this position. Nicole, I know you're too busy. Maureen, I don't think you want to do it. And so I left a voicemail for Michael just to give him a heads up, like, hey, what do you think? So, so what do you think, Mike?
It's something I'm definitely considering. I gotta look at my workload and what's going on. But yeah, I talked to my wife about it and she was like, it's a good idea. So I have to think about it. But what I'll do is the next meeting, if that's okay, I'll give you a decision, or I'll give you a heads up sooner than later.
If you want to talk about it a little bit too, I'd be happy to just give you, a little more background. I mean, I fully intend to stay on, but if somebody else wanted to do all the agendas, and I think personally, I think I've done a good job, but I think it would be nice to have new blood, just because people will approach it differently and come up with different ideas and better ideas. And so anyway, I would
Yeah,
love it.
no, absolutely.
All right, great. All right, anything else? Additional items for discussion?
Yes, I do,
Okay.
actually. This is a follow-up. I was looking at my notes. It's a follow-up about the public forums they're going to have. Um,
For CPC, you mean?
yeah, yes, yes, I'm sorry, yeah. It was brought up that if there's more than 2 people from from a committee, then it would be considered a meeting.
Oh,
And
yeah,
so-
okay, yeah.
So we can't have everybody show up
Uh,
to a particular forum.
yeah,
know,
that's
maybe-
good. All right, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah.
Yeah, this was going through my notes.
Okay, good.
So we might have to have a couple to this one, a couple to that one.
Yes, right, okay, good point. All right, well,
Yeah.
we'll keep track of that.
That
And then,
seems strange, however, because is that really true? Wouldn't we want as many residents at these forums as possible?
I was wondering about that myself. I wonder if we can go there and say, I'm not here representing
Yes, yeah. well,
the
true,
committee,
yeah.
I'm
I
here
mean,
as
in
a
our individual
resident.
Capacity, yeah. I mean, for that matter, if 4 of us went to one of the sessions on the revitalization, is that a meeting
Yes.
of the Open Space Committee? I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
I feel like I've heard even like in public meetings, like I've heard like Councilor Chase, when there was, when he attended a Conservation Commission meeting because of being in a butter, he basically said, I'm here as a
yeah,
resident, not as a council member. So I
yeah, okay.
feel, I wonder, because it would, I think we all have obviously the vested interest of the town in mind.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
If,
Yeah, okay, well, we'll keep track of that. Yeah, and maybe, yeah, one of us could, if there were 3 of us there, if one of us was representing
Yeah.
the other 2 were not, it seems like that would make sense, yeah. All right, well, yeah, I mean, Maureen, maybe, who was it that said that to you?
I know who it was. I'm just
Was it
throwing
Carlton?
it. Carlton was, yes, exactly,
right, yeah.
Carlton.
But you might seek clarification, at the next,
Yeah, I could do that.
yeah, okay.
Eileen, I found the copy from what Lauren posted. I
Yeah.
can just post it as is if you'd like with the link for the forum center. Because that's how it worked for
Yeah.
boards, committees or commissions or whatever. So
And what center did you say?
oh, it's on bridgewatermass.org. It's called the Form FORM Center, and it's it's a general form for boards, committees, or
Oh,
commissions, and it's an
okay.
application.
I
So
didn't know that. Oh, yeah, okay, all right, great. All right.
so I can post that up, and we can hopefully get more interested parties.
Yeah, great. All right, and then of course the adjournment, the next open space committee meeting is not August 15th, it's September 19th. That didn't get changed on the agenda, so September 19th, 2 p.m. All right, anything else? Anybody? Last chance? Nope. All right, good.
That's it.
Thank you all for joining and see you next time. Enjoy the rest of the summer.
Thanks. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye.
you too, thanks, bye.